Okay guys, so today we are back and we're going to be looking at the second episode of Marvel's Spider-Man. Now this is meant to be watched back to back with the first episode, as a lot of the same themes and threads that were established in that one do carry over into this. And as we get into this episode, we're going to be dealing with a battle going on with the Scorpion. Now, the Scorpion here is trying to retrieve some sort of device that's not really defined in this episode. We just see that, he is after a device and he doesn't care how much collateral damage he's going to do to this museum he's in. And then we're going to jump to just a little bit ago where we see Peter and Harry Osborn as they're discussing exactly what happened with Harry Osborn getting kicked out of school and what his dad is planning for him. Now honestly, I thought this was handled pretty well, and it kind of sets up how we get back to the fight. Now during the fight, we're of course going to see that Spidey is way in over his head, but he's really trying to watch out for the people, and he's trying not to do so much, and the natural course of action is he steals the device that Scorpion was after, and he runs to the subway, where the two honestly have a pretty great battle. And there's a great moment where Spidey's web shooter malfunctions and he has to get out of this situation, which I really did enjoy. I think they're balancing everything very well in this. There doesn't seem to be any sort of problem with how fast the episodes flow and how quickly they're moving from set piece to set piece, which I honestly think is awesome. And they're putting Spider-Man in interesting situations that adds a different look to everything. It's not just all happening in one location, which I honestly like that it's varied. Unfortunately, the animation does get a little bit in the way because it's so plain and it's like missing shading, which is unfortunate because the storytelling here is rather good. And after that, we see, Peter actually finally makes it to class, which he's running behind on because he had to stop crime, a common theme with Spider-Man. And we see that Dr. Otto Octavius is a much younger version than what we all thought. It's definitely a different version of the character I think we were going to get. But that's alright, because once again, we've seen so many different versions in cartoon, and we've seen the live action in the comics. You have to reinvent some of the characters, so I like how they're portraying them, but I really have to see how it's going to be handled. Now, in this episode, we also see that Harry has Peter retrieve something that is his, and this is kind of interesting considering that it's like a proto-goblin bomb, and they're definitely going to be playing that up, which I really like, because we don't know if he's going to become the Green Goblin. Is he going to become the Hobgoblin? Is he going to become like Demi-Goblin? We don't really know, but they're definitely playing up, and that there's a bigger mystery. And when Peter is in his school, we see Miles Morales is there, and they already mention Gwen Stacy, and they're laying these things. I even think Cindy Moon was there, aka Silk. I'm not quite sure because they don't name her, but and this episode also deals with the Spider Slayer, which I honestly think is awesome, because the second episode of Spider-Man the Animated Series also dealt with the Spider Slayer, which that was honestly quite great. So it's kind of like paying homage to it, but not directly, which I like that they're dealing with that. And of course, they still have Alistair Smythe, and we even see Miles Morales get saved by Spider-Man. It's a great moment, and people are actually not completely stupid in this, because they're realizing that Spider-Man's voice sounds pretty damn close to Peter Parker. So they're actually starting to question this, and we see that Peter is a little bit more smarter than he might have been in some of the other series, because he's realizing and connecting dots a lot faster than what we anticipate, which I honestly really do enjoy, because they're fleshing out the character, and he's really having these moments where he gets to actually shine as a character. And he's kind of getting this character development that I didn't think the series was going to have, and that was just me prejudging everything, which honestly I probably shouldn't have, but you have to prejudge it because, you just look at the animation, right? It's probably the worst part of it, which is unfortunate, but I think that might turn a lot of people away from what is actually a good story. And by the end of the episode, we see Peter. He's going to be working with Max at Horizon High. It's like an internship now to say, and he doesn't have to look for another job, and we see Aunt May is very happy for him. So overall, a really positive episode. Unfortunately, Scorpion doesn't really get a lot of character development, and neither does the, Smythe with everything with the Spider Slayer. But other than that, I thought it was very solid, and it's definitely keeping me interested. I would give this one a very positive 8 out of 10.